video. Today we'll be going over a couple of things. The first will be formatting a table, conditional formatting, and then lastly we'll touch on how to create a list in Excel. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first thing is formatting a table. So I have this data set right here with our month, our median minutes, and our percent of cases in less than 60 minutes. So I want to change this to a table. So what I'm going to do first is select my data. You can do this by clicking and dragging, or you can press Command A on your keyboard, or Control A if you're on a Windows. And I'm going to go Home, Format as the table, and I'm just going to pick one that I like. And then it's asking if this is all the data for my table, and it is, so I'm going to press OK. I'm also going to leave the box checked because my table does have headers right here: month, median minutes, percent of cases in less than 60 minutes. I'm going to hit OK. So now my data just looks a little bit more clean. I have these filter drop downs, so I can filter my data, I can sort my data, and so it's just an overall better look. But there's also a couple benefits to putting your data in a table. One of them being your table will continue on with the tab button. And since I already have my data linked to a chart here, you can see that it added a blank area here at the end. And so my data is automatically going to be added to my existing chart. So maybe I just want to continue typing total, and you can see it popping up right here in the bottom corner. Let's say it was 30 minutes and it was 46% compliant, just so you can see that. And you also saw when I pressed tab, it automatically added another place on my chart. So I feel like if you're going to be constantly adding data on a monthly, daily basis, then having your chart linked to a table makes it easier for updating. So now I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to delete this blank row right here by pressing delete. I want to get rid of total. I'm going to delete that as well. And now my chart is back to normal. In addition to that, formulas become a little bit easier in a table as well. So maybe I want to add total median minutes. So it automatically added the column for me. And then I want to know my median overall as a running median. So I'm just going to put equal median, open the parenthesis, and these are my values I would like in the median, close the parenthesis, and it automatically added right here. So now it is calculating total median minutes based on this column. So you can also see if I were to change data over here, this median minutes would change. Let's just mess with this. So now I've changed enough numbers here to affect my overall median. So now it's dropped down to 28 minutes. So the same thing will happen when I press tab. So now this formula, it's automatically going to calculate anything I add in this column B. The thing we're going to go on to is conditional formatting. So I have this sample data right here on the screen. And what I'm going to do is I want to highlight anyone making less than, let's do less than 61,000. So I'm going to select my data by clicking Command A on my keyboard, or you can use your mouse and just click and drag to highlight. I'm going to select conditional formatting. It's going to be a highlight cell rule, and I'm going to choose less than. And so now it has determined by my data highlighted here, that is our range. I said less than. If I change my mind, I could change it here. But I'm going to stick with less than. And I said 61,000. So I'm going to enter 61,000. And I don't want it to be red because I feel like that's a negative, so I'm just going to go yellow. And I'm going to hit OK. And so now it has highlighted anyone making less than 61,000. So this feature is really nice if you have a lot of data and you want to highlight anyone making less than, greater than. You can do many things in between, equal to. I use this a lot for dates. I want to know on a certain date if something happened, so I can put equal to January 15th, and it will highlight all of the January 15th. And you can also, scroll down. You can highlight the top 10%, the bottom 10%. You can add bars to your data. I don't have anything selected. And so it's showing 135,000 is the top. That's the top end of our range. And then how close it is to that top end. And if you don't like any of that, you can just clear the rule from the entire sheet and it will go away. You can start over again. The last thing I'm going to show you is how to create a list. So I have some data here. I have some names. If they were an ED arrival, if they were given aspirin, and if their compression devices were applied. So these are all going to be yes, no answers. And if I'm going to have multiple people entering data, I want the field to only have so many options because some people will enter yes, no, capital Y, lowercase n, they'll enter NA, they'll put a date. So I just want to give them the options. So I'm going to highlight this little section of where the data will be entered. I'm going to go to Data, Data Validation, and then the first option here, Data Validation. And then under this data box here, I'm going to create a list. So all I did was hit that drop down, go to List, and I'm going to enter my source. So it's already selected here that I want an in-cell drop down. So my options are going to be yes, and you can divide your options with a comma. My second option will be no, and I'm going to hit OK. So now when people are entering data and they get to those columns, they only have these two options. They can select yes or they can select no. If they go to put in A, it's going to give them alert because that's not an option. It's either yes or no. So again, I really like using this feature when I have multiple people entering data and I just want specific answers to the questions. All right, that is it for today. I appreciate you tuning in and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you.